Hey, what's up, Cancer? Welcome back to another general tarot reading for you. I'm doing something a little different in this cycle, and I am doing a quick blitz of all 12 signs to try something different to see if I can, for one, gain a different sort of traction on the view count, or not view count. The view counts are good, but the view length durations aren't the greatest. So I'm searching for a different way to do things to sort of keep people compelled. Interesting, Page of Cups again. So the last read chord with the Page of Cups energy. So we've got the same energy for this read and the last read, the Gemini read, coming out for you. Very interesting. So as I was saying, the other thing I'm trying to do is, instead of spending so much time sort of thinking about the cards, I'm trying to go off of intuition much more naturally. So I'm kind of just pushing in that direction where I'm not spending so much time explaining the cards, but in fact I am going off of a different resonance. It's kind of hard to explain, but going off of a different type of energy. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of hard to explain here. So this is a little strange. The Page of Cups is an individual that can be susceptible to flighty imaginations. Their good nature, and good emotional nature can actually lead them to be misled by others. Is the thing. They can be influenced easily by other people, because certain types of manipulative individuals understand that they can sort of pull on your heartstrings to manipulate you. That's part of what this energy is. It's a little better in the upright. They aren't as susceptible to that, but in the upright they can still have that quality. And they can still have that sort of daydreamy nature that can not be as grounded in reality as one might like to see. And a lot of times that is just like a sign of immaturity, not like an entirety of immaturity, but immaturity in that regard of basing your actions on a more like utter reality. That's a little strange too, because now we have also this Emperor in reverse, which is definitely a sign of a hasty individual. Or not a hasty individual, but like an impatient individual. The Emperor has to be very patient, because if they aren't very patient, then they can't. Sometimes the Emperor can't just get everything they... Wow. Very strange. The last read had the Seven of Swords clarifying the Page of Cups as well, but the last read was in the upright. So now we have it in the reverse. Very strange. Very strange correlation. It would be bizarre if you're like the same person watching this watching this reading also. But the energy is tuning up here very similarly. Both of these cards are also in the last reading, so what I'm seeing here is definitely somebody who is very likely good in nature, good of heart, but they are definitely in a bizarre situation where they are susceptible to being manipulated. And an impatient emperor, as I was saying, the Emperor, sometimes they can't just have everything they want on the spot. Sometimes they have to let things develop, because, you know, they have to give an order that they want something, but then, like, other people are, at the end of the day, who are accomplishing and achieving that for the Emperor. So the Emperor, it might take some time for their desire to manifest, because they've got to wait for other people to achieve it and accomplish it. So an Emperor in the reverse is somebody who could be very impatient in that energy. They could start to get sort of tyrannical. They could also be susceptible to, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? They could also be susceptible to... Dang it, I'm missing where I was going with that. They're also susceptible to... Dang it, I lost it. For some reason, I completely lost it. So you have to excuse me for that. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm seeing here. This Page of Cups is very susceptible to being misled towards indirect behavior. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, that is a sign of devious behavior. And the Page of Cups can be misled by that. So it's almost a sign that this Page of Cups is being misled by this masculine energy. Even though the Page of Cups is good in their own right. But the Page of Cups may be tired of feeling that, and they may be looking for something different about whatever this is. And I don't know what lengths they would be willing to go to actually get over that, but the energy here is very striking. It's very striking how this, and since this is a Cancer reading, like, your energy is represented in the Page of Cups. So, very interesting. So, now we also have the Three of Cups on the other side of the Emperor. So that's strange, because the Emperor... An Emperor in the reverse could still have a pleasant... They can still achieve things if other people get their achievements done, even if they're impatient about it. So, it's almost a sign of the Emperor, like, reveling in the success of this Page of Cups, whatever this Page of Cups is doing for them. So I hope that you're being shared in that revelry, but it doesn't look like it exactly, because the energy is showing a little bit of disappointment from the Page of Cups. So, very, very interesting. I would like to see some clarifiers on that one. An Emperor, by default, they just get to have... They just get to feel good about the achievement because they, you know, they're on the throne, but... Dang, so now we're seeing Two of Pentacles in reverse, and that is a sign of imbalance, for sure. As cliche as that is, because it's obvious that it's a sign of imbalance, but... Definitely something is missing in this dynamic. And kind of what's off the top of my head is that the Page of Cups isn't getting their just reward, perhaps, for this, whoops. But the cards just missed on the put together, so maybe that's not the case. I'll have to clarify further what this lack of balance is about. So I'm going to clarify the Emperor now, in reverse. And Four of Swords in reverse. So yeah, this is actually pointing more towards insecurity in this Emperor. The Emperor isn't capable of self-reflecting very well. So definitely an Emperor who's like granted their authority more than earned it, so to speak. And here with the Eight of Pentacles, that's a sign that this Page of Cups does good work. Even though it might be a little even though it might be a little shady in terms of the Seven of Swords reversed. The work is good. So the Page of Cups can achieve well. But they're tired of doing this work. Is the thing. They're not satisfied in doing this stuff for the Emperor. And we also now have the Two of Swords in reverse for the Emperor. So very strange energy here where, like, this reverse Emperor might be more insecure than they're letting on. And part of why they're insecure is because they've got this Page of Cups running around sort of doing things behind the scenes that might be a little uncouth. And even though they're achieving that success, and even though on the outside they're able to put on a front of achievement and celebrate and revel in their achievement, there is definitely a lack of internal stability, a ton of internal disresonance for this Emperor. So very insecure Emperor energy here. And that insecure energy is definitely why a Page of Cups would want to seek out something new. And it's why this Page of Cups would probably not be satisfied with this situation. So very interesting. Yeah, they wouldn't want to, and especially if they're like a younger, immature person. And I hate to say immature like it's something wrong with you. What I mean is that you have a lot more experiential growth internally to deal with for, you know, sort of how to navigate life's utter realities. Is what I mean by immature. I don't exactly mean that you're like an idiot or something like that. That's not what I'm suggesting. So it's sort of about your ability to tolerate it's sort of about you understanding what you're willing to tolerate. It's something that you do have to develop as energy. So for Two of Pentacles in reverse, I'm curious what this is. We've got the Sun. That is quite a stride here. The interval between these is like I am not exactly sure about that. If I was to kind of go off the cuff, it really strikes me as it's an imbalance in your ability to follow your own optimism. So it strikes me off the top as like this Interior Emperor is definitely is like it's like they're emotionally manipulative. And despite the fact that they're emotionally manipulative, you don't lose your light entirely, but it is lost to some degree. You have trouble believing in yourself, even though you have the capacity to, and even though you can believe in yourself. There's another element here that you are. It's kind of not exactly. There's something else missing. Even though you have like a great internal confidence, there is something else that is missing here. So even though the sun is shining for your Two of Pentacles in reverse, that isn't enough. Pure hope and outlook isn't everything you need here. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to expand the Three of Cups now. And maybe a different kind of external action is what you need to balance this out. So maybe you are taking too much. It's like your optimism is serving the Emperor when it needs to be serving you more, is half of what I'm suggesting from that. So Three of Cups expanded, we're looking at the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Dang. Yeah, dude, this Emperor is fronting big time. They are not secure. They're not as secure as they make it look like. When they are reveling in their success, there's a good shot that they are being dishonest about what the success is. And I'll be completely honest, this has been striking me multiple times in the reading, but I'm just going to say this. This is really striking me as a Cinderella story. There is like this Page of Cups energy is like Cinderella's the one at the house scrubbing the floor. Cinderella is the one who's actually beautiful. But, you know, the stepmother and the stepdaughters or whatever, the stepsisters, they go out and put on a big front about, you know, how great their life is and how good everything is and yada, yada, yada. But internally, it's not that. That's not what's going on. Internally, they don't retrospect, which leads them to be very toxic. They make Cinderella do things, you know, that aren't very couth. But Cinderella keeps her optimism. She keeps her internal beauty is sound as hell, and that's what this is suggesting. But at the end of the day, Cinderella can't find her happiness until she takes a different external action. And she, you know, so like she has to embrace her own well-being, not just the well-being of others, before she can find her own internal stabilization. And she has the capacity, and she does good work too while she's at it. So, yeah. That's really what's striking me here. And that's the same thing what we've got with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse. That's a sign of someone who's insecure about their material success. And in the Cinderella notion, like all of the step individuals, all of their wealth and well-being came from like Cinderella's dad or whatever, right? Like it was his wealth that he achieved, that he gave to them. They didn't achieve anything on their own. Even though they've been granted this authority position over all of that wealth, they're insecure and it doesn't provide them an internal stability. The Nine of Pentacles in the upright is about your material success being a shield for you. Because it speaks for itself that you are able to achieve that. But if you didn't achieve that, which is kind of what I'm seeing here for this Emperor did not achieve this wealth for themselves. So they actually still are stuck in an internal instability about themselves. So the material alone isn't enough for them. So it doesn't matter how much they're playing it on the outside. They're insecure on the inside, big time. And they are lacking internal stabilization, which this Page of Cups seems to have of their own volition. So, yeah, that's one hell of a card for that. This dang Emperor. I don't know what their deal is. So now for the Two of Pentacles in reverse, we get the Hierophant. So that's... What is the balance then here? I mean, off the top of my head, the Hierophant, that is something about... that has to do with the higher power, so to speak. It has to do with convention that serves you. So it has to do with like how going to church can actually be good for you. the Chariot just tried to flip out too. Not saying that you need to go to church, but sort of what the Hierophant is suggesting is that there are other walks of life that can help you out. And a lot of those things are based in conventionality because they're kind of tried and true. They've been tested over time, and they prove to be successful in those regards. The other thing is the Hierophant comes right after the Emperor in the Major Arcana. So I'm definitely curious on the clarifier for that, because that card's been miffing me recently about, like, it's the idea that it's just asking you to go to church doesn't seem correct. So let's see, 9 of Pentacles reverse clarified by the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. Severe material insecurity. This Emperor, it speaks even more to the Cinderella notion, because the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, that's somebody who's very susceptible to not letting other people shine. Somebody who's insecure about other people outdoing them. And that's exactly, that just matches all of this insecurity. This person is putting up a front, this Emperor is putting up a front about how happy they really are. And part of that fact is due to the fact that they don't retrospect well at all. And they don't, like, learn anything from their mistakes. So they're in a very complacent position. I don't know why that's been afforded to them, but that's what's here. And part of why that's afforded to them might be you. You might be why they can stick to this position. So you might be a piece of their puzzle, but they don't treat you very well, apparently. And their expectations of you aren't, they aren't serving you anymore, is the bottom line here. So, like, yeah, just more confirmation to this Emperor's insecurity. They might even have an insecure spouse at the same time too. It's like, so I don't know exactly what the energy is, but there's masculine, now there's masculine and feminine insecurity big time here. You're the secure energy with the Sun energy. So the Hierophant, final clarifier, the 9 of Swords reversed. Getting over your own anxiety, so to speak. Getting over your own notion of being trapped like this. Dang, so that's tricky. Like, if you're in the Sun energy, well, the Sun, yeah, okay, so essentially, if you're out of balance, your Sun energy wouldn't serve you properly. But if you can achieve that balance, the idea is that you can get over this anxiety. You can get over this. Oh, that's also, oh, that's, never mind. I was going to say that's wind, but this is a water reading. So, I don't know what this convention is, but there is some kind of convention that can help you find your light differently. I don't know what situation this Emperor is in, but it's almost as if you could... Yeah, I'm just not sure here about this. I'm trying to see how I could clarify this differently. Okay, so the Hierophant is kind of about your relationship with your own inner power, your own higher power. So maybe you aren't believing in your own power, but the evidence is here that you do have it. 8 of Pentacles is a sign of ability to achieve well. The Sun is a sign of being able to retain optimism, which not everybody can do. So the balance that I see here for you is you've got to grasp self-love differently. You've got to become indifferent to this Emperor energy. And there's a much better balance inside of you that can serve you much better. And that has to do with embracing what's good about you, which it already seems like you can do to some capacity, because to achieve these things, you already have the light of the Sun. And the light of the Sun means that at least the good comes to you naturally. And it comes to you in order to achieve these things. But you're definitely imbalanced on applying where you're applying it. And what's being suggested here is you've got to apply it to yourself more. And if you can do that, you will get over these tribulations you're going through. So, all right, Cancer, I think that's about it for this reading. 19 minutes, 20 minutes, so not bad. It took a little bit longer to get the energy out here, but I hope this really resonates with you. If you are, you know, maybe you are in a Cinderella situation, and Cinderella is as great of a quality as it was for her to sit around and serve her stepfamily because she thought that was very endearing. She was too beautiful to do that. And even though it speaks to her character, she deserved to serve herself more. And it definitely took an inner wisdom in the form of her fairy godmother, which is sort of what the Hierophant is suggesting. It took that intervention of a higher source to bring out her own well-being. And it was the well-being that she deserved, and it was the well-being that put her above all of the other women in the eye of the prince. And the prince came for her. And she was the one of true quality that deserved him. So that energy is pouring out here for you. I don't know exactly who you are, but sometimes the best of us put it into others who don't deserve it, because we are susceptible at being misled by our good nature. And you don't have to do anything drastic, but you also deserve to be served in your own right by yourself. You deserve yourself too. You deserve this good of you for yourself. And that is something I definitely hope that you can find. So, thank you very much for watching this, Cancer. Good luck, and take care.